everybody. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And I just kind of want to bring you up to speed on what we've been doing. I know we hadn't put a video out here in a couple weeks. So I kind of wanted to bring you up to speed and let you know what's been up. Okay, so we finished up on the Bratcher Tract. Finished up Mr. Jacob's timber and done his finished work. We did that the weekend of the Brewington plowing. That same weekend, so y'all didn't really miss nothing on that, just some finished work. Took a skid steer, bladed the ramp down. The deck, we bladed the deck down, cleaned it up, slicked the roads down and moved out. Got the tops pushed back off the fences and out of the roads and whatnot. And that's something we like to do whenever we leave a job, to leave it looking good. Then after that, we had a small job, and I really didn't bring y'all along for that because I didn't think, it would be much interesting to you, because it was actually my father-in-law's pasture that we took out some beech trees for him. That short that we put on Facebook the other day of Red, our log truck coming out with a load, Skylar coming out with a load of beech, that was part of that project. We knocked that little project out in a week or so, and now we're still on my father-in-law's property in his pasture right here where we're at right now. But we put in this gate right here this morning to go on to the neighbor's property, and I'm going to show y'all that here in just a second. The neighbors they've got about 20 acres here that we're going to harvest for them. They're conscious about their timber, and they want to take care of it and whatnot, and we're trying to set decks up to where it will be productive for us, because we can get to right here where I'm at through my father-in-law's land really easy, and he's okay with it. In fact, he suggested it. So it'll make our drags a little shorter for the mules decking our timber. And this is why we put in this gate, so we could go across into the Bratcher Tract, which is next door to my in-laws again. And there's already a few roads in there. We're probably going to have to cut a couple more roads just to make it a little more productive. But I wanted to take y'all along, since we hadn't had a video in a little while. I wanted to take y'all along this morning and let y'all see kind of what we had to do. We had to cut, part of that fence row out and clean it up. Cut it out with a chainsaw. Then we had to cut the fence. And Skylar, he run the skid steer for me. And he got all this brush pile for us. We're going to burn it at a later date once it dries out a little. So what I want to do next, y'all, is kind of show y'all a little bit of us cleaning that out so you can see what it looked like before. And then after that, we'll walk y'all through the timber. Now, before we do all that, I'll take you up here and show you what the after results look like. Just a 4-strand barbed wire on each side. Nothing real fancy. This cedar tree had a bunch of limbs on it. We had to trim it up. And this wire has been in this cedar tree for years. I hate to see that, but it is what it is. I didn't do it, so it is what it is. Anyway, so we're going to take y'all and let you see what it looked like before whenever we was cleaning it up. And then after that, I'm going to take you through and show you this timber and kind of give you an idea of what our timber plan is as far as the management part of it, on what we're going to harvest and what we're going to leave. Now, y'all, I just tell you, this skid steer has been a major game changer and blessing to our operation. It has been handy for so many different things, such as, cleaning up this brush here that would have took us the better part of half a day if we'd been doing it just by hand. Whereas, with this skid steer, in a matter of minutes, we were done. Thank you, good Lord. So it's been a huge blessing to us, and it's brought our safety up even more. Being able to load the log truck and not have to get on top of the log truck, rolling logs around and whatnot. Using the side loader. The side loader works, and it works good. And we'll still use it every once in a while just to keep it operational. But this skid loader has just kind of transformed the way we do business. We're able to stack logs now on the deck rather than put them directly on the log truck, so that's a plus, because we don't have to haul as soon as we skid. Not to mention the fact that this pasture job we did for Mr. Lance, all of those beech trees we cut for him were out in the middle of the wide open in this pasture, and we didn't even have to take the mules on the job. It's not that I don't want to use the mules or that, you know, one is better than the other. That's not what it's about. It's a mixed power operation, and we use the best tool for the best job at the time. And the skid steer suited that job the best for what we were up against. Now, if you're in the woods and it's tight, the mules can get around better, and they can get the logs out in the open where the skid steer can handle it, and then that makes for the best use of tools. So there's no right way or wrong way to do anything. There's just a more efficient way of doing stuff. And you know, the longer I stay in this business and try to do things, I try to maximize our efficiency and make it easier on everybody, me, the mules, and Skylar, and everybody concerned, the landowners and whatnot. But we're just thankful to have this thing, y'all. It has really helped us a bunch. Skylar, he's a good little operator. I tell you, he just turned 16 the 24th of April, so he's got his driver's license now. That's a big help. And Skylar, if you're watching, buddy, I can't thank you enough for all the help you give me. You sure make things a lot easier on me, and I appreciate it. He's a good worker, y'all, and he's gonna go far in life just because he don't mind working, and he's happy doing it. It don't matter what you put him doing, whether he's running this skid loader here, which he does prefer to run equipment, or if you put him in a barn shoveling out crap, you know. He's happy either way, you know, and I learn a lot from him just in that regard. Whenever things get kind of hectic and whatnot, and it's hard to keep your composure sometimes, you know, he's always happy wherever you put him, and that's one thing he's helped teach me. But anyway, I just wanted to share that part with y'all, so y'all bring you up to speed on kind of how we're doing things. It's not that we forgot about the mules or we don't want to use them. We're going to use them. But with this pasture job, the skid steer just suited the bill the best. And that's one reason why I didn't video much, because I didn't figure y'all care to see much about, you know, us cutting trees and skid steers. So the mules is kind of what everybody likes, and I like to keep it more towards that. But I did want to bring y'all along and let y'all see us opening this job up. Now we had to get these T-posts out of our way. Of course, there's all kind of roots and everything growed around them, you know, in the ground, so they're kind of hard to get up. But just a simple chain and a skid steer, you know, just wrap that chain around that T-post and kind of get a good friction lock on it, and the skid steer pull it right up, no problem. Makes quick work out of it. But we want to get them T-posts out of the way so we could push back some of the leaves and the brush, get a good clean place to work, and then set our corner post for the gate and get our gate put up, hook our fence back up, and we're in good shape. Now, y'all, one of the first things I do when I first start a job is we go find the boundary lines, the land lines, and we get clear marked land lines because we do not want to get in a timber trespass situation or get over on someone else's property. So that's one thing we have done here is identified the land boundaries, mapped it out, and now we're putting in our infrastructure to get to where we need to go. All right, y'all, we made it down this little road here coming in. I think y'all can see skid steer sitting out there. We've come in here, and this road, it goes on out. It goes on out through there and makes a right, and it don't go too much further that way before it turns to the right and goes up through. And I'm gonna put a picture of the map on the screen here so y'all can kind of get an idea of how the land lays. But I wanted to show y'all some of the timber, what it looks like out here, and Skylar's gonna help me. He's gonna show y'all what we're gonna leave and what we're gonna take. Now, right in this area, there's a decent amount of poplar and some red oak mix. And y'all can see right here, some red oaks has been blowed over. We're gonna try to make best use of them, cut them up and probably cut them for ties. So we'll make best use of it. But I kind of wanted to give you an idea of what we're gonna cut and what we're gonna leave. I mean, y'all can kind of look around. You know, like here's a little old young white oak. Skylar, go up there and measure that one for them just to give them or stand beside it, give them a reference. See, it's not very big. I'm gonna say it's gonna be about 14 inches. Just guessing.
14.
Yeah, see. And 14 inches, y'all, on this job, 14 inches ain't gonna make the cut on white oak. There's a good bit of white oak on this place. It's gonna be a good job for us. But we're not harvesting the white oak unless it's over 20 inches DBH, which is diameter breast height, where he just measured. On all the other species, the red oak, the poplar, such as that, we're gonna thin it at 18 inches at DBH. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of young timber in here that's in that 14 and 16 inch range, but we're gonna leave it. And we're gonna take out the 18 inch stuff just to open up the canopy a little more. And any trees that we got that is coming like 3 off of the same stump, you know, that's wadded up together, we're gonna cut them to, you know, to relieve some of the ground pressure and the competition. So let's just look around here and I'll give you an idea of what we're gonna cut. Now see, like this one over here, Skylar, go over here and measure that one yonder. That one over there be one we'll take. That's probably gonna be an 18 inch tree, maybe 19. Yeah. And we'll mark these trees before we actually start cutting, but right now I'm just trying to give y'all an idea of what we're doing.
A little under 17.
A little under 17?
Yeah.
Okay, so we would leave that one in. Now that one over there, it would make it. That's a scarlet oak. It's a big one. That in there is going to be 19 or 20. So it would make it. So my point is, y'all, with us doing this, we're not just going in here and cutting every single tree. Now, if it's a little bit under 18 and there's 2 or 3 trees there in a wad, we're going to go ahead and cut 1 or 2 of them. Take out the bigger ones and leave the smaller ones to relieve some of the competition. So all we're doing, y'all, is selective thinning this tract, and we're selective thinning it by the numbers. Skylar, measure this black oak here and see what it is. And he's using a diameter measure, tape measure, y'all. It'll give him the best measurement for what the tree is. He can't hardly reach around it. So that's a good sign.
A little under 20.
Little under 20. So see, we would take that one. And then there's a poplar right over there. You don't have to measure it, Skylar. There's a poplar right over there we would take. And if there's any that looks bad, and I saw one let's see, what was that I saw it? It was a red oak, I think, or a black oak, actually. I'll show y'all this one, because it's pretty ugly. Look right here at this one. You see this black oak? Let me get this limb out of y'all's way where you can see. Look how, see how it's got them knots all over it? You see it? That's an ugly, ugly tree, and it's probably not gonna cut out good. But it's not gonna do no good standing here sucking up nourishment either from other trees, you know. Well, case in point, you know, here's some young saplings all around this thing. You know, there's a young hickory over there. So my point was, or is, it ain't doing no good standing there. That tree will get cut, you know, for management purposes. And any of them that are like that, we'll go ahead and cut them. Just like this one here, this red oak here, black oak. See, it's got that big bulge in it. And it's pretty ugly looking. See what I mean? That tree will be cut. So I just kind of want to give y'all an idea. And what I'm going to do before we actually start sawing, before we actually start cutting timber, I'm going to go in and mark all of it with blue paint. And in that way, when we do start cutting, I won't be having to make timber decisions as far as what's going to go and what's going to stay. It'll already be made, and all we'll have to do is just come in here and start cutting. But we want to make best use of our timber on any job. You know, even like this blowed down timber, we'll go ahead and cut it out. That'll make several tie logs, and some of that even actually might make some grade if the worms hadn't got in it. On timber that's laying like that, you got to be careful with it, because it, you know, worms can get in it and whatnot. But the idea, y'all, the idea of this tract, and again, I'll put it up on the screen where y'all can see it. We're going to start on up in the middle of the tract and drag this way toward this deck back here on Mr. Lance's place. We're going to do that. And then once this section of the timber's through, we'll start in the middle on the other side and going toward the road out there. It's kind of downhill toward the road. It kind of, if it makes sense, it kind of goes up like this. It kind of goes up and then it drops off. It's kind of like got a mound right in the middle. And we want to pull downhill both directions if we can. Not to mention the fact, splitting this tract in half, it cuts our drag times down, because we ain't having to drag it so far. And we'll probably use a log wagon on this job some. We'll use a cart. I'm sure we'll use stretchers. We'll use probably every method that I use. I'm sure we'll use it on this job, just to make best use of our equipment. So anyway, I want to give y'all an idea of what we got going on and let y'all see, you know, what we have to do to get started. You know, it's not one of them deals where you just gonna blaze in here and start cutting timber. There's prep work that has to be done, as well as finish work. You know, if you want to keep your tracks looking good and keep your landowners happy, you've got to do finish work, you've got to do prep work. I mean, prep work benefits me mostly, because it keeps our drag shorter. We've got roads put in, you know, infrastructure, that kind of thing. It just helps us a lot on our end. And then the finish work is for the landowner mostly. I want to keep our landowners happy and make it look good whenever we leave. I don't want somebody coming by our jobs and saying, oh man, who in the world done that? And then somebody brings up my name. I don't want that on me. So anyway, we want to do a good job, make everybody happy. I just wanted to show y'all just a little bit of what goes into the logging of it. It's way more than driving a pair of mules, y'all. As I always say, hey, I'm all about showing you the whole thing. The mules are coming. They're all doing good. June and May, it won't be too much longer. We'll be ready to start breaking them. I'm going to start that this summer. That'll be exciting. And I'm going to take y'all along for every step of that. And I'll have Kate and Alice on this job here probably in the next week. I got to get some timber down and all that good mess. And then I'll have them on the job and we'll start moving timber again. So anyway, I hope y'all have enjoyed this and let you see a little bigger picture of what we got going on. Again, I hope the Lord blesses each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. It means a lot to us. And y'all take care. Have a good one.